Can you share like a personal story or key moment that had you focusing on Bitcoin education? You mentioned that you weren't really sure you'd get back into the education space. So what was the key moment for you that switched on the light bulb to come back?
So I'm new into the Bitcoin space. I joined in around 2022, right after COVID. Like many, speculatively, I thought Bitcoin was a way to make a lot of money. And soon I found out through following folks at HRF, Alex Gladstein, that it was a financial freedom tool. So I also founded a nonprofit organization that raises awareness around a dictatorship in Eritrea. And through that work, I found the convergence in financial freedom and human rights work. That led me down the rabbit hole of learning about Bitcoin and wanting to do what I could to teach people about Bitcoin as well. And like I mentioned, higher education background, it sort of just made sense for me, teach folks what I was learning. And for me, I think, like many people, I learn better when I teach. So selfishly, it was a way for me to actually learn more as well along the journey.
Justin, you also have a very interesting story as to what led you to Bitcoin. I think it would be very nice for you to tell the audience.
Alright, so what led me down, what even got me interested in Bitcoin was that I would say Bitcoin found me when I came home from prison in the US. From 2011 to 2014, I was incarcerated. And so when I was coming home, I was thinking of ways of trying to be ahead of what's going on in the world. And I knew I needed to be first or second. So I was introduced to Bitcoin by somebody. And my main goal was just to try to get a house or be a part of something that was new. I didn't really understand how new I really was in Bitcoin. And from there, I know in America, everybody talks about the number go up. And I wanted the number to go up, but I also wanted some type of freedom because being in prison, you know what oppression is. So when I first researched Bitcoin, with my limited amount of knowledge, I've noticed there was 100% freedom here. You didn't need to have permission, like how everyone was talking about permissionless. You could just start using it, buying it, being in it, educating in it. You didn't have to go through college again because I don't believe in taking on more debt to get paid a little bit more money. And I didn't have to be some accredited investor. I could just start buying with what I can, and I was committed to learning the ropes over and over and over again until I got it right.
Maybe I can go back to you again. So from incarceration to teaching about Bitcoin, education about Bitcoin, how exactly have you been carrying that out, Justin?
How have you been carrying out? All right, so first things first, let me say this. Without the Block Discovery Grant, our nonprofit, Bitcoin Transformation Community, would not be able to do any of this. The Discovery Grant is the only grant we receive funding from in the entire space. And what we do, how we carry that out, is we conduct workshops inside prisons in America. We've gone to Colorado, Texas, Michigan, and between those few states, we go in and we educate. And the reason why was because as much as we talk about mining and how mining uses wasted or stranded energy to mine Bitcoin, we have a lot of wasted human capital energy in prison in America. So within that, I was just thinking, how do you bridge the gap? And I've done a lot of education places in certain environments in America. And people love the thought of Bitcoin, but they don't really have a job to go buy Bitcoin. So from noticing that, I was like, well, how can we create jobs for people to then go buy Bitcoin? Because like Femi and everyone else has said, like just saying Bitcoin fixes everything, it's not gonna fix everything if I can't buy basic necessities. So our one way of conducting and carrying out that education right now is by going inside prisons in the U.S., educating them, and industry that's willing to have you when you come home.
Maybe pointers. I know that with the Innovation Hub, I had the pleasure of hearing about it even before it began. You also have a unique way of carrying out education. Can you please expound on how you go about it?
Yeah, so the Bitcoin Innovation Hub is located in Kampala, Uganda, and we do education the same way that most people do in education. It's teaching people about wallets, how to use them, how to send and receive money, but we don't stop there. We try to make sure our folks, our students, as well as our staff understand not just the importance of Bitcoin and financial literacy and financial education, but if they're students specifically, we want to help equip them with skills to empower them to earn Bitcoin and to earn money and to change their lives. We don't think that education is maybe the most impactful thing in the world, but it is an impactful step, both at the community level, institutional level, and government level as well. It's a step that I don't know if it's the first, second, or third step, but it's important. And yeah, so like I mentioned, we try to empower folks. We give them practical skills, whether it's hair and makeup, beauty, tailoring, simple skills, and as far as technological skills, engineering, cloud computing, network engineering, and we hope to have sort of a flywheel effect where our students come back and work with us to create products, build applications, and from there, further develop the Bitcoin ecosystem.
Maybe Justin, you've mentioned that there's human capital in Visa, so maybe you can explain to us the impact that this has had on the people that you have been educating.
So we have three pillars of impact that we've noticed helps people the most. Number one, education in general. Then the goal of education, at the very least, is to provide hope. Hope that you can be better when you come home from prison. Hope that you can actually take care of yourself. Hope that, I understand it's going to be a hard road when I come home, but I can really pull myself up my own bootstraps. We say that a lot in America, but Bitcoin does help you with that. Number two, provide the skills with mining and repair. We just last month, our partner LFG Mining hosted a training where they taught me and others how to troubleshoot miners, how to take them apart, how to know the difference between the control board, the hash board, and make those fixes. We've even learned how to lay or trace wire on the control board. So having that type of skill, the skills pay the bills no matter where you are in the world. Having people have those skills and now go get a job, and the job. So the third pillar of impact will be jobs. Because without jobs, a lot of people turn back to doing things they used to do. They'll go back to doing crime. You feel down on yourself. People start talking to you crazy, so you start making bad decisions. So between education, mining, technical repair, and job placement are three ways that impact our participants.
I don't know whether you can mind talking about this. You mentioned crime, and you had quite an experience in Nairobi. If you can maybe go ahead and maybe this can be like us a wake up call on how we can be able to maybe use Bitcoin to enlighten Kenyans.
So you want me to tell me what happened?
Go ahead.
So, all right, my first night here in Kenya, in Nairobi, on Friday night, I was kidnapped and held by and extorted for money by the Nairobi police. I was leaving the club and I should have not left by myself, but I was trying to walk and find a ride home, and what happened was, like these two women tried to hop in the car, and I was just like, well, I'm not trying to take nobody else home. So we had like a commotion, and I don't know who called the police, but then the police showed up and they said, we want to take you to jail. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm gonna go to jail. And my mind was racing, like, bro, I'm not going to jail in Africa. I'm not trying to go to jail, period, but damn sure not trying to go to jail 7,000 miles away from home. I'm not trying to get killed, and if this gets real violent, I'll probably never make it home. So I was just like, shit, like, bro, what can we do? Like, you know, I know what you want, you know, so what's up? And so they put me in the car. One cop was to the right with this huge gun between his legs. Then they had this woman sit on me to make sure I don't jump out the car. Then they had two other people in the front seat. And so we driving around, my phone was dead, and I was like, bro, you want money? You got to turn my phone on, go charge it somewhere. They charged the phone. And then went to an ATM, took out some money. They said, we want more money, we want more money. I'm like, God damn. So in my head, I'm thinking like, all right, I said, all right, let's go to that ATM. And I had read a book a long time ago called Never Split the Difference by Chris Moss. He was a hostage negotiator for the feds. And I met his assistant, and he talked about how they would talk kidnappers out of hostage situations. And so all of this started coming to me in my head. I was like, well, you're gonna have to keep them talking, keep moving, do something. So eventually, like, we go to another ATM, and they're talking in what I believe to be Swahili. And they said, well, we're gonna lock you up, we're gonna do this, we do this. And then I just started realizing, I'm like, these people are not gonna kill you, Justin, so you can get out of this, but you know, we're not giving them no more motherfucking money. I don't mean to cuss, but this is what I'm thinking at the moment. And so, I looked at him and I said, hey, you know, nobody who's talking to you in this car has the money you want. You're gonna be better off listening to me, and I'll get you the money you want. I said, I haven't lied to you yet, you know. So we went to another ATM, and luckily there was some security there. I didn't trust them in the beginning either, but after a while, I gained their trust, they gained mine. And the police and whomever, they drove off, and I was able to get a ride home in the Uber from security. And I had a few people look it up, and a lot of that corruption stuff comes behind people who get paid enough, they don't make enough money. All crimes, like you said, even in America abroad, the majority of crime is behind money. And it was a real eye-opening experience in Nairobi. You know, it was wild, but I appreciate you for letting me share that.
Okay, maybe what I wanted you to share, do you think it would have been different if you had like Bitcoin in self-custody instead of
oh my word, you know, I actually had so here's the thing, I still had Bitcoin on Cash App. Like, I had Bitcoin on my phone. I was just like, bro, I'm not giving y'all fucking Bitcoin. Like, I'm not coming off the Bitcoin. They didn't even know I had Bitcoin on me. So I was just like, shit, and there was no way for them to get it, you know, so yeah, Bitcoin helped, but I don't know, like, if you in that scenario, just if you have some fee, I'd give it to them, but you know, I didn't even have a self-custody. If I even having a self-custody could have helped me or could have hurt me, but yeah, I still wouldn't give them that.
And Paulus, on your end, you're very good you're more of from the tech innovation scene, and maybe you could enlighten us. What innovations do you foresee could help in accelerating Bitcoin adoption in the continent and even a global scale?
Well, first, Justin, just want to say glad you're safe. As far as innovations in education or just through Bitcoin in general, we use BTC Pay Server that's open source technology, and I feel like it's a pivotal tool for accounting, especially for schools and the way in which we use it. I think it's probably the future of ERP solutions when it comes to businesses as they continue to expand plugins and solutions on their product. Outside of that, I love what OpenSats has been doing with funding educators through their grant for education, and how they've open sourced Bitcoin education. Me Premier Bitcoin, for example, John is going to be speaking later, how they have open source education and made it available for anyone to teach Bitcoin education as well as financial literacy all over the world. I think those innovations that currently exist are pretty great, and I don't think we should look over them. And I think they're going to continue to expand as people continue to fund these projects, and more folks continue to get involved and iterate on top of them. Like I mentioned, for us, I think we're doing something that's somewhat novel, using BTC Pay Server to sort of host our on-campus transactions and payments. The same way a university would have a university ID card, we top up or give students cards where they can load up Bitcoin and use it on campus. So our Bitcoin continues to circulate within our institution, and students get more familiar with it. And at the same time, we have an accounting tool to keep track of all of our spending and whatnot.
Justin, I'm really sorry about the experience in Nairobi as well. And I really hope you can get to enjoy your stay in Nairobi going forward. And maybe if you can give the audience one key takeaway or action item that they can remember when it comes to the big.
Well, I don't have as far as Nairobi, I don't have too many nice words to say right now. And not the people, but for to answer the question, something that's important is like audience crossover. When you're educating people, you're probably able to use this. You can use the same content for adults. You can use the same content that you give like children for adults, because everyone is really new into the space. Bitcoin is only like 16 years old, so everybody is coming into it through like an infancy stage, and really just need a lot of different forms, platforms, and ways to get the information out to people. So that'll probably be that'll be what I say, audience crossover, and just different platforms to share information on.
I think maybe this is a question for the both of you as we conclude. So what are your plans moving forward? I know for Justin, you're very much supported by the block, if I'm not wrong. And so what are your plans moving forward, and how can people reach you? So maybe Paul, you can go ahead, and then Justin, you can finish one.
Sure, so to add on top of one key takeaway, because I want to take I think it's how Lamar from Black Bitcoin Billionaires said earlier yesterday. It's meeting people where they're at. A lot of these educational materials and resources sometimes may be over the head of many of our audiences. So it makes sense to craft it specifically towards your audience, your students, your participants. So yeah, meeting people where they're at, I think is a huge takeaway that I wanted to instill in you guys and take the action as well. Where you can reach us is at btchubafrica.com. And moving forward, we want to continue to grow Bitcoin education on the continent. We want to continue to expand and share our resources and our information, our findings with anyone else who's interested. Partnerships, collaborations, again, please reach out to us. We're on all social platforms at BTC Hub Africa.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Carlos and Nolan, for what you said. So one of our plans moving forward, so yeah, we were awarded the Black Discovery Grant last year. We are now a 2-time recipient of their award. And one of the things we plan on doing moving forward is having, by the end of 2025, 98% of the 1 million people incarcerated in America will have access to our content on these tablets they have in prison in English and Spanish. So that'll be a very big focus for us. Conducting more repair trainings so people can have skills, and just keep growing the mission, seeing what might pop up or wrinkles might happen, iron it out and go forward moving there. You can find us on our website at btctc.org. If you want to do the long-handed ways, Bitcoin Transformation Community.org. We're on Twitter at BTCTC1SAT. We're on LinkedIn too, Bitcoin Transformation Community. And you can check out our sticker store. We have these neat stickers our co-founders, Dr. Stacey Will, came with. They look like real Las Vegas-ish, so it's kind of neat. So we use those, to get donations, and as well as like more grants. More grants. We always can use grants should they be available to a project like ours. And just your continued support would be great.
I would just mention you also have my book, Advice to Bitcoin. Thank you for gifting me. I'm looking forward to reading it. Get right to it. And
I do have a book. I was grateful enough to have Conference Mining sponsor some books to give out here. Obviously, I didn't bring enough books. Just buy more books. I know it's hard. I don't know if Amazon delivers to the African region, so if I come back to ABC 25, I'll just bring more books so everybody can have a book.
Well, I'm looking forward to visiting the hub in Uganda sometime later. And I think we are done for today.